Good evening, everybody. Welcome. Late Night Crypto Talk with Bitcoin. Brandon here. We'll get started in just a couple of minutes. What's going on, Jeremy? What's going on, Mike? Texas in the house. What's going on, Alicia? Hello, Marcel. Good evening, Bonita. Oh, you know I like that teaser video. I'm going to have to post that in a second here. What's going on, Gerald? Hope you guys have enjoyed your Saturday so far. Good evening, Sean. Good evening, Juan Ricardo Davis. Late Night Crypto Talk, Bitcoin Brandon here. Good evening, Diana Lynn. You can't help it, Lashana. You are who you are. It's all good. And before I begin, as I always say, I am not a licensed financial advisor to be dispensing financial advice. I read the news, I share my opinion, I give suggestions, and it's up to you to do your own research, do your own investigation, and make your own choices. I'm looking forward to sharing what I'm about to share tonight. Hopefully it's going to help a lot of you out there that's part of the CryptoGenex family as well. The real test, Lashana, will come at an actual event. All right, everybody, let's go ahead and get started tonight. But we first start with looking at the market. CoinMarketCap.com. Let me hit refresh. I haven't looked at it since this morning. All right, everything is still in the red, but kind of even. Bitcoin is at $9,800 a coin. CoinMarketCap is around $430 billion. The only coin in the top 10 that is green is IOTA at 4.61%. Let me see, do I see any pump and dumps taking place or any major changes? No, we've got Redcoin up 9.4%, while everything else is in the red. CryptoGenex is down 25%. So it looks pretty even right now on the charts. Nothing really major that's taking place. Sometimes they say no news is good news. Before I also get started, I want to tell you the prime directive that I've learned for the crypto space. And I only learned this through education and application. You know the difference? Education and then taking real world application. Aloha Kathy. All right. So the prime directive that I learned is number one, education. That can't be stressed enough. Education. Number two, only invest with money you can afford to lose or that you're willing to risk. Number three, return on investment. Whatever it is you do, and there's only three major ways that you make money in crypto. Number one is buy and hold. You buy the crypto, you sit and you hold on to it, and you wait for the value of it to go up to the point you say, okay, I want to sell to make a profit. Number two way is by mining. Meaning you're going to purchase mining machines. You have to invest a lot if you want to make a significant amount on mining. I just read an article this morning about a company that's investing $250 million in creating the infrastructure for mining in Montana. $250 million. Now, they're not going to invest $250 million if they don't think they're going to make that back plus some. Okay? ROI. Don't get greedy. I have seen that a lot. People that invest money, they start to make some money, but instead of, taking their profit out, at least to get the money that they made back, they continue to, play in the game. And it's not that it's wrong, but eventually you're going to lose somewhere. I hate to use this as an example, but it fits. Because people act like this in the crypto world as far as gambling. They go to Vegas, they start winning, they're on a roll, and when they should quit ahead, they keep going because they think they'll never lose. The house always wins. Because they know people in human nature. We can't stop. We get addicted to something and we just can't stop ourselves. Addiction comes in many forms, whether it's alcohol, whether it's drugs, whether it's gambling, whether it's women, whether it's sex. There's many addictions. And people just can't stop. It's like their brain gets hooked on something and wired on something. Same thing in the crypto. I see people addicted to ICOs. That's why I don't include ICOs as one of those main ways to earn an income. Although you can, that's more risky. Buy and hold, mining, and the last is trading. Buy and hold is a long-term deal. Trading is more immediate. Trading is a skill set that you can learn, that you now can write your own check whenever you want to. 6 and 7, 8-figure skill set. So when you understand those three ways, then you can go to number 4. And number 4 is coming up with a game plan. I've also learned that in the crypto space, no matter what you do, it takes anywhere between 60, at most 120 days to get your ROI back. That's what I've learned. Anywhere between 60 and 120 days, no matter what it is you do, has been my experience. The reason why somebody wouldn't is if whatever it was they got involved in is no longer around, either is not in business anymore, gets shut down because the laws changed, or they got greedy. That's the only reason. But 2 to 4 months, you get your ROI back. And after that, you've eliminated your risk. Everything else is, you're playing with house money at that point in the investing in the crypto world. You can diversify yourself. You can take the money that you've made and flip it and make it work for you. Now, the reason why I spend a little bit of time saying that, because the topic tonight is one of the main objections, and I love to eliminate objections before they even come up. We're about to launch CryptoGenex, and we're leading with education. And one of the main objections, and this is only going to come from 2 types of people. The first type of person that asks this question is they really have no understanding or idea whatsoever. And that's okay. They're just ignorant. That just means we have to educate them. Because if they were educated, they wouldn't ask a silly question like this. The second type of person knows the answer to this question, but they're a hater. Whoa, what do you mean they're a hater? They're looking for some way to put down what you have, because they may have their own agenda. We call those haters. So you're either ignorant, which is okay. That's not a bad thing. I'm ignorant when it comes to medical. I don't know anything about medical field. I'm ignorant to that. I'm ignorant when it comes to hockey. I was watching the Olympics, and I don't understand what's going on when I watch hockey. A little bit. I'm ignorant when it comes to soccer so much. I only watch soccer during the Olympics. I'm ignorant when it comes to the stock market. Not because I don't have the capacity to learn, I just don't know the information. So what is the question that we'll ask? And I think I said earlier, I said the number one question. No, it's actually not the number one question. The number one question we're getting asked in CryptoGenex is, tell me about the bot. How much am I going to make per day? How much am I going to make per month? What's the percentages? I need to know the percentages before I want to put any money down. And here's why we don't answer that question. Because of enticement, because it's illegal, because it's the reason why most companies in this space get shut down or run out of the United States. Even if the answer that they give is true, it doesn't matter. You cannot talk about income earning in this space when the federal government is identifying it as either an asset or a security. You can't do it. As an individual, you're not licensed to do so. Not only can the company get in trouble, but you as an individual can be charged because you're not licensed. So I can't come out here and say, oh, you're going to make 2% per day, or you're going to make 40% per month. I can't say that, even if whatever number I give is true, because all it takes is one person where the market shifts and changes, and it doesn't happen for them that way, and they run screaming bloody murder. I was promised, I was guaranteed to make this, and I didn't make it. Even when you go back and say, where were you guaranteed? It doesn't matter. If you look at any company in the crypto space that has ever given a number, even if all they give is an average, even if they say average, and they say in their terms and conditions, we don't guarantee anything, all the critics will still say, yeah, this company guarantees 2% a day. What are you talking about? Where did you get 2% a day? Guarantees. It doesn't matter the company. Every critic, every newspaper article will say this company guarantees, or they say they guarantee, even if that's not true. So we will not put ourselves in that position to satisfy your curiosity on how much you're going to make. This is bigger than you. But here's what I can answer on that question, then I can move on, because it is the number one question. If we're charging 12% a month on what you're trading with, we must be confident that you're going to earn at least 12%. That's all I'm going to say about that. You use your own imagination at that point. If we're confident to do that, because that's the only number we have put out there, so it's the only number I'll address, then we must be confident that you're going to at least match that and do better so that you can have a profit. Otherwise, what's the point? So I hope that answers that question. So let's get on to the second question that the ignorant and the haters will ask. Why should I pay for CryptoGenex? Why should I pay when I can just go to YouTube and Google and get the same information for free? Sounds like a logical question, doesn't it? I mean, why pay for something when I can get it for free? I'm going to answer that question by sharing a story. And it's my story. 2017, early on, actually almost a year ago to the month of March, where I started to have a mental shift out of MLM to looking for another space or industry that would allow me to earn MLM style money without having to build an MLM style team. And the industry that kept popping up to me was Bitcoin and crypto. Now, I have already bought some Bitcoin at this point. In fact, I have bought Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum. Those are the three I had invested. And it wasn't a lot. I didn't invest a whole lot, a little bit, because I just wanted to see how this thing worked. I wanted to see what all the hype was. I had people that I knew that were involved in 2015 and 16 that were now millionaires. And I'm like, man, just a year ago you were broke. This Bitcoin thing made it for you? They're like, yeah, man, I got into it 2016, man. Bitcoin jumped up this year. You know, I bought it when it was like $300 and now it's like a little over $1,000. So I started to pay attention. But at the time, I was vice president of sales and marketing for another MLM company. And when I realized, you know, this was not going to go where I wanted it to go, and I stepped out, I said, I need to learn about this Bitcoin space, this Bitcoin stuff. So the very first thing I did was I went to Google and I went to YouTube. And I started typing it in. And you know what popped up in front of me? Like 1,000,001 hits popped up of articles and videos and lectures and TED Talks and all this. It was like an overflow of information. And I literally had no idea where to begin. And I had no idea what source to trust. So I started, I'm an investigator. So I started looking at some of the stuff. And I realized that, wait a minute, this person is saying one thing, and then this other article or so-called expert is saying something completely different. Who do I listen to? Who do I trust? So then I started to investigate the people, and I realized that they all have different agendas. Those that were attached to the Bitcoin or the banking world, even if it wasn't upfront, I just did a little bit digging and found out, were always more on the negative side when it came to Bitcoin and the reporting of it. And those that were on the tech side, the Silicon Valley side, were way overboard positive about it. And I'm like, well, where's the middle? There was no dictionary for Bitcoin, or a standardized one. And so then I was approached by a gentleman by the name of Tim Miller. And he said that there's a company that's about to launch that's only teaching crypto education. And what it's designed to do is to be able to hold your hand, to let you know the basics, take you from the beginning, A to Z, in a structured format. So yes, YouTube definitely can be your professor if you know where to go and where to look. So somebody like myself that has nothing but time in the world, because I don't work a 9-to-5 job, I have time to spend 4 or 5 hours just sifting through the mess to find the quality stuff. But even then, you know, I got bored with it. A confused mind does nothing. I shut down. I'm like, this is just too much. I don't know where to begin or what to take place. I actually embarrassed myself because I was talking to somebody else who did make a whole lot of money in the space. And we were talking about the blockchain, and I made a statement about it. He was like, where'd you get that from? He's like, that's not correct. And I was like, well, I found that on YouTube. Like, no, that's not right. Who said that? And I was like, oh, okay, uh-oh. I need a little bit more structure. So I took it serious. And I went through the education platform and spent 3 months doing so. By the end, not only did I know the history of Bitcoin, how it got started, And I'm not just talking about 2008. I'm talking about since the United States came to be. The history of money. Yes. Did you guys know that it was once in our Constitution that every citizen had the right to mint their own coin in competition with the federal coin? The only entity that wasn't allowed to do so were the states. So people created their own coin. Decentralized. They were bartering and trading with coin not controlled by the government. That's the whole point of Bitcoin. Did you know we already had that before? 1864, 65, the government shut that down by making a law that is against policy to have any coin that's competing or foreign against the federal government. I didn't know any of this stuff. I didn't know the history of Bitcoin that was started really from the libertarian movement, from individuals who wanted no government control whatsoever, almost an anarchist type state. A movement that started in the 60s and 70s, that the programming really began in the 80s. And it came to be in 2008, actually 2007, but 2008 because of the financial collapse of our banking system that let us all down. Where they said enough's enough. Bitcoin was born. Did you know that? I didn't. YouTube didn't teach me that. I wouldn't even know where to find that on YouTube. I had to go through an education platform that already had the most relevant information there for me. And then I can expand on that on my own. Once I finished that, I also learned how to trade. I learned how to trade. Think of it like the stock market. I felt empowered because I'm able to look at CoinMarketCap and I understand what the symbols mean. I understand what BTC, LTC, ETH, BCH, Dash, IOTA, etc., XRP. I understand what those mean. I understand the charts. I can read the charts. As before, it looked like Greek, and now it's telling me a story every time I look at it. I'm able to make forecasts and projections. This is a 6, 7, or 8-figure skill set, depending on how much money you're trading with yourself. I took $30 after I learned how to trade. I took $30 into my Prelaunch account. And the knowledge that I learned, I turned that $30 into $600 in less than 3 months. Trading on my own. Now you might think that's not a whole lot of money, $600. Understand again, I started with $30 and traded it on the way up to 600. The reason why I stopped, well, I didn't really stop, but I slowed down because I don't like looking at the computer screen all day long, looking at the charts. I wanted to test my knowledge out. I wanted to know, does this thing actually work? This is where the application of learned knowledge comes into place. I learned it, then I needed to apply it. I took $100 out of that 600 because I learned another way. How to let your money work for you. How to invest it. You see, most people working a 9-to-5 job, they're trading time for money. The wealthy let money work for them. That's what I wanted to do. So I took $100 and I entered the crypto world outside of trading by myself, taking advantage of different programs and ICOs. That $100, because you heard me say all the time, I don't buy Bitcoin, I earn it. That $100 I was able to flip into a small fortune. Just one ICO that I spent less than $1,000 on made me more money on the return side than most people make in a year. And I don't say this to brag at all or to impress you, but to impress upon you that the knowledge that I learned from the education has allowed me to navigate the space of crypto as risk-free as possible. Even programs that end up getting shut down, I still came out on top. You'll never see a situation where, "Oh, I lost all my life savings." You had no business investing with your life savings in the first place. That goes back to what I said. In this space, you get your ROI back at least anywhere between 60 and 120 days, no matter how much you start with. I found that case to be somewhat mostly true. Unless you're doing something that's just way out there, where the return is just way too long. So that goes back to why the importance of our education platform. Education is the key. I have a degree from Morehouse College. I'm 2 semesters away, if I choose so, from having a master's degree in teaching education in the state of California. So I graduated from Morehouse College. I got my advanced education from University of Laverne here in California. And do you know every single book that I bought, and some of those books cost $200 a book, I could get the same information online for free? If you want to get any college degree out there, that same information is online for free. So why wouldn't I just go to YouTube and get my education and my learning? Because it's not structured. And I also want to hit on human nature. People are lazy. I hate to say it, but most people are lazy. Most people do not want to put in the work, the investigation. They want somebody to hold their hand. If YouTube was the answer to crypto education, then 50% of Americans would understand what Bitcoin is all about. See, here's the statistics. 50% of Americans, a little more than that now, have been exposed to Bitcoin. And do you know where they got their knowledge of it from? They got it from Big Bang Theory, because they did an episode on it. Ellen DeGeneres did an episode on it. The news talks about it. That's where they're getting their information, when all they have to do is pull out their smartphone, ask Siri or ask Google to look up Bitcoin. And they can look up this information themselves. How many of you have been asked 1,000,001 times from somebody, how do I buy Bitcoin? How do I set up a Bitcoin wallet? And that might have been you. How many of you have asked somebody that question when you could have just easily went to YouTube and said, how do I buy Bitcoin? Why do you still ask somebody that question if YouTube's got all the answers for you that you can get for free? People don't want to do that investigation. They want it spoon-fed to them. So what CryptoGenex is all about, since we did the homework, we did the investigation, all the most relevant information you need to get yourself started in the crypto space, we've put together in one area that all you have to do is come to and go through. Instead of going to YouTube or Google and trying to sift through all the information and hopefully find that what you're looking at is right. Because I can't tell you, I do 2 Facebook Lives a day, reading news articles. And some of those articles, I say 40% of them have information that's not correct. Because the author is not informed. But if you're not educated, you wouldn't know to spot that. You just think, oh, well, they wrote a newspaper, they must be right. Warren Buffett, second, third richest man on the planet, is wrong when it comes to crypto. His right-hand guy is wrong. And they know it. They have an agenda. When Jamie Dimon, I had this talk with my dad, okay? My dad is not that all technical, but he's very successful. He was one of the most highest ranked officials in the water industry in the nation. Highly connected. And anytime anything negative about Bitcoin comes out, he's the first one to shoot it over to me. And one thing he shot over to me was Jamie Dimon last year, who said Bitcoin is a fraud, Bitcoin is a scam, Bitcoin is a Ponzi, Somebody's going to get killed over it. It's the biggest bubble in human history. I'm going to fire anybody in my company that I find trading in Bitcoin. And my dad shot me that article. My dad was like, well, son, Jamie Dimon is one of the biggest bankers in the world. One of the smartest men on the planet. He's documented. Sorry, it paused. My battery's about to die on me. He's documented. He's a 9-10 figure earner. So if he's saying this is fraud, I'm worried that you're in the wrong industry. But then I had to go back to my dad and show him 2 days later a report that Jamie Dimon's company bought the most crypto assets, Bitcoin assets in the Swedish market in the world. Not just a little bit. He bought the most. Millions of dollars worth. Which puts him in a position to make billions off of that when Bitcoin matures even more. I also showed my dad another article that the government charged Jamie Dimon with market manipulation and fraud. That because of his statements, it caused the market to drop 1,200 points and he bought the dip. And he was found guilty of it and had to pay a fine. I also put another article to my dad that Jamie Dimon has paid billions of dollars in fines over the last 2 decades. Found guilty. Never went to jail, though. Watch who you're listening to. Just because somebody in power and of importance says something doesn't mean it's true. And if you're not educated, you don't know the difference. You just accept it as fact and keep moving on. And Sean is correct. Structured education is more efficient. So, do I have a problem spending $250 or $300 on structured education? Or would I rather take matters in my own hand because it's free and go to YouTube and Google and educate myself? When statistically, most people will not do it. 50% of Americans have heard about Bitcoin. Only 5% own a piece of any Bitcoin. And 0.5% of those people even know what it is. Even know the history of it. Even know what's going on, the technology and the science behind it. Them people can easily go to YouTube as well. But the biggest problem in the industry right now is lack of education. And YouTube ain't solving that problem. So when somebody says, well, why should I pay for it when I can just go to YouTube, get it for free? You know my answer is to them? Go ahead, and you better not ever ask me a question about Bitcoin, because you can just go to YouTube. Think of this. Some of you have asked me questions. If I answer to you when you come to me, Brandon, you know, I'm working a 9-to-5 job, or I'm a single mom. I don't have a whole lot of time. I keep hearing about this Bitcoin stuff. I want to be able to have more time and freedom. Can you tell me a little bit about this? I mean, can you tell me just what is this Bitcoin stuff? Is it real? And if I were to answer, yeah, just go to YouTube and look it up. You'd look at me like I lost my mind. Yeah, like no shit, Sherlock. Yeah, I could go to YouTube and just look it up. I'm asking you because I trust you. Because I trust your source. That's why. That's the difference. I'm a Morehouse man. But Howard University is also an excellent school. Why did I choose Morehouse over Howard? Morehouse is more expensive. I can get the same information at Howard. Because going through Morehouse gives me another level of prestige. Something else that I'm going to learn that cannot be taught from a book. The experience. And my fellow Morehouse men know exactly what I'm talking about. Why would you spend money to go to Harvard when you can get the same information at UCLA? Why? There's a difference. Why would I spend money on this shoe when I can get a better price on another shoe? Why? I like that, Lashana. The quality of info. But it goes beyond that, because CryptoGenex is not just basic education pieces to it. We're going to have ongoing education. If people could just get the information off of YouTube, then nobody will be listening to my Facebook Lives twice a day. Because I'm covering the latest news, latest information. The laws change. We now have 5 states in America that are now gearing themselves up to be Bitcoin friendly. We've got a huge region of Montana over the last 2 months that has 3 major mining contracts. We've got Nevada that is allowing you to pay your taxes with Bitcoin. This is happening. But if all you were trying to get your information from YouTube, would YouTube send you a notification about some new news? Do you have the discipline to stay up on that? See, that's another service we're going to provide. Ongoing, continuing education, which is far more important than just the basic stuff. Because you can consider yourself an expert, and 2 months from now, the knowledge that you have is obsolete. Because that's how fast technology and things have changed. So CryptoGenex is giving you an atmosphere and an environment where you're going to get continuing education and be up to date. But here's the best thing of all. Why CryptoGenex and not YouTube for free? Because of something called earn while you learn. How would you like to be making money while you're learning? This is why our platform is going to succeed beyond the last education platform I was a part of. The last platform stopped short here. This is where we pick the ball up and we run with it. We will have an app that's going to be like your little virtual assistants to the crypto community. That's going to be able to send you signals and alerts when a trade is going down that you should be a part of. We'll have a crypto rhythm. For those of you that are lazy like myself, yes, I am lazy. I've got the knowledge to trade myself, but I don't want to. I'd rather pay somebody to do it for me. So I can earn a full-time income without having to be involved on a day-to-day basis. That's what the crypto rhythm can allow us to do while I'm learning. So the value is far beyond just some basic education videos that you think you can get on YouTube for free. It's a community. And we're going to help people who have never had any structure before, don't even know where to go. It's built and designed for the little guy. But at the same time, the big guy can make millions. Income disclaimer, that's not a guarantee. It's a possibility. More than a possibility, it is a probability. And for the little guy that says, you know, I don't have $5,000, $10,000, $50,000 to invest. Neither did I. I had $100. So I can't afford the crypto rhythm. That's okay. We can show you how you can get there in time. Even if you only had $200, $300, or $500. I started trading with 30. So that is what CryptoGenex is bringing to the community. For those of you that are sitting on the sidelines, like, well, I'll wait and see what's going on. I'll see how it's happening. Yeah, you keep watching while we do. Well, I'm not going to pay for that. Well, I go to YouTube for free. Good luck with that. You better not ask me any questions. Go to YouTube. Because I am taking a mental list of the leaders in this industry, and I know who they are, that want to use that against us as a way to marginalize what we're doing. They just trying to rip y'all off over there, charging y'all money for stuff you can pay for, you can get for free. Don't you give them any of your money. Yeah, you go sit over there. You keep doing that. How's that working out for you? So, I didn't want to keep this very long. How long did I go? About 40 minutes? Really, I can answer that question in 2 minutes flat, but I wanted to share a story, and I wanted to have it down on record so that for any of you going forward that's part of our CryptoGenex family, You can just pull this video out when somebody asks an ignorant question like, why did I pay for money for that when I can YouTube it? Yeah, you can also, why are you going to go down and pay for a dentist when you can YouTube how to fix your teeth yourself? Yeah, you go do that. Go YouTube dentistry. All right. So I hope this helps. And I like this series. I think I'm going to, anytime objections start to pop up, I'll do a Facebook Live on how to break it down, because some of you will say, Brandon, you sounded so good saying that. I don't think I can remember to say all that with somebody who asked me. Great. You don't need to. Just play this video for them. You don't know how to answer that question when somebody says, why should I pay for CryptoGenex when I can YouTube it for free? Play this video. And you'll quickly figure out what type of person they are. Because if they listen to what I said and still say the same exact thing, they are what you call a hater. They don't want it to succeed. They don't want you to succeed in it. Because there is no argument against what I'm saying. Because then you'd be arguing against every institution that is structured. In the technology of today, why do I need to pay for any structure? Because everything is on the YouTube for free. Everything. Every topic. You want to learn how to build a nuclear freaking weapon? It's on the net. All right. So with that, those of you that hopped on our call this earlier with co-founder Stephen McAuliffe, and those of you who did not, you couldn't make it, I've already uploaded the recording. We're getting very close to our pre-launch. Things are coming to place. We've just dropped a teaser video. I haven't posted it publicly yet, but I will soon. So we have a new teaser video that's out. We're going to be launching in multiple languages at the same time. And here's one thing that I can already predict, that our greatest growth is going to happen overseas and not the United States. That's my prediction. We'll have a lot of growth in the United States, but Americans think a little bit differently. And I know what it is that you guys want to see before you take anything serious. So that'll be a couple of months out. But the rest of the world is going to kill this, especially having it in their own language. It's game over. So you're either going to be a participator or you're going to watch what's happening, or you're going to hate on it. Either way, we'd much rather have you participate or just give us your blessings if this is not for you, because it's not for everybody. But again, it is for everybody, because there is a need for crypto education out there. And there's many different platforms. There's one thing you will not see me do is compare. What's different with yours and theirs? I don't know. I can't tell you what's different. Only thing I can tell you is what we're doing. And if you know what their platform is, then you can do your own comparison. But the last thing I will leave you with is this. And this is based off of experience. Our platform will be legal and compliant with all laws in the United States. The way we do business will be compliant. You will not see any income disclaimers, guarantees, back office showing, or even letting you know, here's how much I made last month off my crypto rhythm. You won't see any of that. Even if it's true. Why? Because it's not compliant to do so. Now, if other companies are doing that, that's their prerogative. It's called enticement. They need to do that to show their program is actually working. Ours, education. The icing on the cake is the crypto rhythm. And you're going to be surprised when people are able to tell their personal stories about the crypto rhythm in compliancy. That's the difference. There's no dashboard showing. There's no back office showing. There's no, I'm documented. I made this amount of money last. So what? The moment you say that, and some clown goes out there and gets involved and they don't make anything, or they make half of what you made, and they turn around and say, I saw so-and-so say they made this amount of money last week. I tried it. I didn't make that money. I'm contacting the BBB. I'm contacting the FTC. I'm contacting Texas, so Texas can write up a cease and desist order against them. All it takes is one. We're not going down that route. That's what's different about us and them. So with that, thank you guys for listening to me tonight. Bitcoin Brandon out. I'll be back tomorrow morning with some news in the crypto land. Get ready for CryptoGenex, because here we come. God bless everybody. Good night. Enjoy your weekend. Bye-bye.
CryptoGenex.